All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, depending on where you are watching us from around the world. This is the Inspired Family Leader Program with Samuel A. Bakutana, your host. I am a certified executive coach, an award-winning leadership consultant, the recipient of the Leadership Impact Award in Uganda 2022, a global speaker who has had the opportunity to speak on all the 6 continents of the world, and an author of 17 books in the areas of leadership, business, education, and relationships. I am the CEO of Inspired Leaders International, which is an international leadership development firm that empowers leaders to transform nations. I am a married man. My wife is Charity, with 2 children. And what a joy it is for us to be here today on this Inspired Family Leader Program. Today, as we talk about something that is so close to my heart, which is related to the way I have just introduced myself, as you are about to see. Today, we are talking about the aspects of public speaking that every man should learn. The aspects of public speaking that every man should learn. Now, before you switch off and you say, I am not a public speaker, let's begin from there. Every moment you are speaking with someone else who is not yourself, you are in public speaking, period. Public speaking is not about you standing in front of a big audience and speaking to 10 people, 20 people, 500 people, 1,000 people, or like the 1,700 people that I spoke to about 3 weeks ago. Had a wonderful audience in Ndeje, somewhere in central Uganda. We had about 1,700 wonderful people, great leaders, and I addressed them for 1 hour. I remember just a few months ago, I had an opportunity to address another audience of 2,000 people for 1 week, But also I have addressed an audience of 3 people, an audience of 10 people, 60 people. Next week, I will be having an audience of about 25 people who are going to be equipped in exactly what I'm here to talk about today, who are going to be going through the certificate in public speaking and presentation mastery of Inspired Leaders International. So you need to know that everyone is in public speaking. Every day we are speaking. There is somebody called Robert Kiyosaki. You could have heard about him. He is the author of one of those most famous books, the book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. He said that there are 4 skills that every person needs to have in order to be successful on earth. And this being a program that focuses on equipping men, challenging them and inspiring them, giving them what they need and encouraging them to expand their family leadership capacity for national transformation. I want to tell you, men who are watching, and our dear mothers and sisters and daughters who are also watching with us, that for you to be a successful family leader, for you to be a successful professional man in the marketplace, for you to be a successful businessman, you need those 4 skills that Robert Kiyosaki talked about. One is leadership skills. I was talking about this with one of my friends that I'm going to be hosting here 2 weeks from now. Gentleman from the International Justice Mission, a lawyer, great friend of mine, whom I have known for a number of years, Byron Mwanje. And we were saying that a man has a calling of leadership upon his life, specifically in the realm of his family. So every man must learn the skill of leadership. And then secondly is selling. The selling skill. Every man must learn how to sell. Every day we are selling. When you stand before your family and you bring an idea that you would want the family to work on, it is a selling moment. When you get into an interview room and you are being interviewed on whether you should be given the job or not, you are in a selling it's a selling moment. You are selling your human resourcefulness. You are selling your own capacity. You are selling your proficiency. You are selling your ability. You are selling your capability. So every man must learn how to sell. Not only that, sometimes we sell products. Sometimes we sell services. Sometimes we sell programs, etc. So every man should learn how to sell. So number 1 was leadership skills. Number 2 is selling skills. And then number 3 is basic accounting skills. That every man should learn basic accounting skills. Now, this is about basic money skills, if I can put it that way. That you should be able to know where you got your money from and where it went, as simple as that, to begin from or to begin with. So that you are not among those men who say, where did my money go to? I had money. Last month I earned a lot of money, but now I can't see where my money went to. But you see, you used it alone. So you should be knowing. You should be the one who knows where I got this money from and where it went. That's what we are calling basic accounting skills. So that you are not among the men who say, how many months are in January because of overspending in December. Basic accounting skills, money habits, financial discipline, financial literacy. And then number 4 is the subject of our conversation today, and that is public speaking. So Robert Kiyosaki says, you need to have 4 skills, whether you are a president of a country, or you are a business person, or you are a sweeper of roads, a cleaner in a city like the city of Kampala, where I am right now. You need those 4 skills. 1, leadership skills. 2, selling skills. And then 3, basic accounting skills. And 4, public speaking skills. So we are focusing on public speaking today. As a man, have you seen a man who is given a microphone at a public function and they say, let's welcome, without meaning any harm, I'm just mentioning names at random, so if that's your name, don't say I knew about it. Let's welcome Jack, let's welcome James, let's welcome our brother Peter, let's welcome Dixon, let's welcome Jackson, let's welcome Samuel, let Ronald come and say something and greet us. And as a man, you stand up and you speak for about 5 minutes when people can't put a finger on any point you have mentioned. Why? Because you have not equipped yourself in the area of public speaking. Let me tell you, public speaking is important in many ways. It's a powerful tool. For example, in leadership success, John C. Maxwell, one of those great writers globally in the area of leadership, who has written more than 60 books in the area of leadership, says everything rises and falls on leadership. And in one of his books that he produced recently about communication, he said, whereas everything rises and falls on leadership, leadership rises and falls on communication. So if you want to be a leader in the family, you have to be able to communicate. If you want to be a successful leader in your workplace, you have to be able to speak appropriately. If you want to be a leader in the community, you have to be able to communicate successfully. Not only communication through emails and phone calls, but also physically when you stand before an audience. So it's important, public speaking is important in leadership success, but also secondly in business success. If you're a man who is an entrepreneur, you are selling something, you sell milk from your farm, you sell vegetables from your garden, you sell clothes in your boutique, you sell a program, whatever it is, it is so critical that you need to be able to have public speaking acumen for you to have business success. Because look at the things we do in business. We negotiate, we persuade, we influence, we do pitching, to mention but a few. Most of those things are public speaking issues, so you need it in business success. But now that we are talking about the Inspired Family Leader program, the family leader, the man, you need public speaking abilities or skills in order to have marital success. Let me tell you, many men just like many women, are busy digging the grave of their own marriage using their tongue. They don't know how to use their mouth. They don't know how to use their tongue. They don't know how to use speech in order to strengthen their marriage. You know, I heard about a story of a man who stood before his wife and said, my wife, when you look at me, especially this upper part, how do I look like? You know, I'm just out of the saloon. Look at my beard and how do I look? And the woman said, those beards, they're like the pubic hair of a hyena. Words, you dig the grave of your marriage using your own words. Again, I heard about a woman who asked the husband, how is this dress? And the man said, you look like a pig now. Your mouth, you can kill your marriage using your mouth. Public speaking is paramount when it comes to marital success. But anyway, even in causing any action in life, whatever action you want to cause for transformation, as a man, you need to be able to master this skill of public speaking. So that's why we are focusing on it today. And we are looking at the aspects of public speaking that every man needs to master. And I will immediately begin with aspect number one. Aspect number one is being able to understand the power of public speaking. So I've already shown you the power of public speaking. So the first aspect you need to master is understanding the power of public speaking. To know that it causes action. To know that it says things, to know that it influences people. You need to understand its power. That is aspect number two. Aspect number one. Aspect number two, you need to learn how to release the great inspirer that is hidden within you. Do you know that you, as a man, my brother who is watching, and your dear wife seated next to you, can you first of all give her a high five if you're seated with your wife? If you're seated with somebody else's wife or your girlfriend you've not wedded, don't give them a high five. You need to put things right. Do you know that you, as a man, my brother who is watching, within you is the capacity to speak appropriately, to communicate powerfully? Everybody was born with that capacity. You have a great inspirer hidden inside you. And so the second aspect you need to learn in public speaking is how to remove or release or unleash or untie that inspirer hidden inside of you. You see, you were given all the tools of eloquence or the tools of public speech. You have the mouth, you have the tongue, you have the arms. You need to know that you were born with the capacity to speak. So you need to learn how to release the inspirer hidden inside of you. Aspect number three that you need to learn is the aspect of stage confidence. How do you build confidence as a man so that when you stand up before your fellow men in a meeting of men, meeting of fathers union, a meeting of men's this, men's that, or not only where they are men alone, but any congregation, any audience, how do you ensure that you speak with confidence? Many of us men, we get onto the stage, whichever stage it is, and instead of telling people to clap their hands, we are clapping our knees, shaking because of the anxiety that we have on the stage. We want to let the ground swallow us just because they have pointed a microphone at us. It is important that you deal with that third aspect of defeating presentation anxiety and having stage confidence. So you need to learn how to build your confidence on stage. You will realize that today I'm going to much more be giving you those aspects you should go and equip yourself in. And in case you need help, you can reach out to me. I could be of help. And in the next couple of minutes, I will be introducing to you another wonderful gentleman who is already in the studio, who will also be of great help. So the aspect of confidence, you need to learn how to build the confidence. So I'm not giving you so much the how tonight, but I am giving you the what, showing you the what, the different areas. Now, aspect number four is the aspect of preparation. You need to know what to do in private before you do anything in public. One of the reasons why many men stand up to speak and they don't make a point is because they never prepared. One of the reasons why many people stand up before an audience and after speaking for 10 minutes, the point is not coming out. They can't tell which point it is they are speaking about. It's simply because they did not take time to prepare. Let me tell you, public speaking requires exquisite preparation. Even me coming here today with the gentleman I'm going to be telling you in the second segment to speak to us, we had to do the preparations. We have the stuff that we are speaking about tonight. Preparation is critical. So you need to equip yourself in the area of preparation. Don't stay in front of people to address them when you haven't prepared anything. Even right now as I talk, I have some bits of, scribbled notes here that I prepared to share with you so that I give you quality. I give you excellence. That's why I'm not mincing my words. That's why I'm not, because I have prepared. So preparation is critical. To think about the venue where you will speak from, to think about your audience that you will be talking with, to think about the content you will give them, to think about how you will structure your presentation, to mention about a few. Prepare. And then aspect number 5 is the aspect of personal profile. As a man, I would like you to go and learn how you can write a simple, brief personal profile. If they say, we would like you to come next week and address, this kind of audience, please send us a paragraph or two that we can use to introduce you. Will you be able to send them something sensible? Some of you men, you say, but my life is not about many things. I haven't done a lot in life, so I don't need a profile. I don't even have a bio. No. Even if it is just a matter of saying my name is so and so, I do this and this. Brief, simple, but well organized. That is your profile. That is your bio. So that's another aspect where you need to go and equip yourself. Equip yourself in that aspect of having a personal profile. Have it written somewhere. Keep, fine-tuning it. And then aspect number 6, which is related with aspect number 5, interestingly, is one that challenges many men and women, of course. That's the area of self-introduction. You need to learn the aspect of self-introduction. Do you know that many times introducing yourself will be the only opportunity you will have to speak at some functions? You go to a place and they say, before we go on with this meeting, let us first introduce ourselves so that we know who is who in the room. Let's begin from my left, and that's the chairman speaking, the chairman of the meeting. Let's begin from my left, going like this. And they come to you and you say, my name is Samuel. What else? Well, I work with Inspired Leaders International as the Chief Executive Officer. I think that's it. Thank you for listening. You have not introduced yourself. So you need to learn how to do that. Equip yourself in that aspect of self-introduction. So that even if that's the only thing you will do at that function, at that event, in that meeting, on that forum, in that fellowship, the way you have introduced yourself will earn you business, will earn you reputation, good reputation, will earn you a good name, even if you just introduced yourself in that meeting. Then aspect number 7 that you need to give attention to is how you use social media. How can I use social media powerfully? Do you know that that is a part of your public speaking? Social media. Some of you are on Facebook, some of you are on WhatsApp, some of you are on LinkedIn, some of you are on former Twitter. And some of you are not even aware that there is nothing like Twitter now. It's now called another name. It's called X. In case you are not aware, you have to be updated. So some of you are on X, which formerly was called Twitter, and so on and so forth. Those different social media platforms, and you are always posting. Do you know that whatever you post, that's part of your public speaking, only that now you are speaking is through words written? So you could call it public writing, I don't know, but where we stand from, it is public speaking. How do you use social media to engage people in a way that they feel connected to you, and it's like you're speaking to them in public, facing them face to face? That's one aspect you need to think about. I've been talking about this, especially when it comes to our sisters. You get that phone, you remove the skirt, you take a snapshot of your thighs, you post them on Facebook, and you ask, am I hot? Let me tell you, that is wrong public speaking on social media. Because the time will come in the coming days, you'll be standing for honorable MP of your constituency 10 years from now. And people will come back and dig deep on your social media and pick that picture and post it in the newspaper and ask, is honorable hot? That's how you will lose that election. It's part of your public speaking. Aspect number 8 is learning how to start your speech powerfully. You see, the start is important. It is at the start when you grab the attention of the audience. It is at the start when you create the rapport with your audience. It is at the start when you introduce your topic. To mention about a few, you need to learn ways how you can start any presentation powerfully. Whether it is a speech at a wedding, whether it is a sermon in a pulpit, whether it is a presentation in the boardroom, or it is a campaign on the platform. How do you start? The start is very important. The moment you miss the start, to start powerfully, then the rest of your presentation may face catastrophic pandemonium. You need to learn how to start your presentation powerfully. And there are quite a number of ways how you can do that. But as I told you tonight, I'm not so much giving you the how, I am showing you the what. We can continue this conversation even after this program to know how you could be helped. But the beginning is very critical. Some people will only give you about 13 seconds to determine whether they should stay listening to you or simply move out. So they sit and wait and just listen for about 13 seconds to see what you're saying, how you're introducing yourself, how you're bringing up the topic, and they can gauge and say, I think there isn't much here. I need to be moving away. Or I think there is a lot here. I need to fit in my chair, get my notebook and my pen and get ready. I think there is content here. I think there is substance here. Why? Because of how you have begun. The other aspect, number 9, before we take a quick break, a very brief break, is the aspect of non-verbal communication. You need to learn how to do what we call non-verbal communication. When we say non-verbal, we mean when you communicate without words, or what you often communicate with other things, not the words you are saying. So for example, you see right now I am speaking, but as I speak, I am using my hands, I am using my arms, I am using my face, I am using the intonation of my voice, even my sitting posture. All that is what we call the non-verbal communication. As a man, you need to learn how to use the non-verbal communication, which includes, the facial expression, which includes the way you use your hands, the way you use your arms, the posture, how you move on stage when you're speaking, the area of nonverbal communication. As a man, I would like you to go and equip yourself. Enough is enough of us men standing before important audiences, and we just look like we are dry woods. We are dry, half-baked bricks. We talk like we are not alive. But you see, when you learn the art of non-verbal communication, you will be able to cause action for transformation. Lastly, for this segment, as we go for the break, aspect number 10 is how to maintain the attention of your audience. That's another aspect I would like you to go and probe about and learn. How do I maintain the attention of my audience? So yes, I've known how to start powerfully. I now know how to start powerfully. But after people have tuned into my presentation, how do I ensure that for the 3rd minute, 5th minute, 10th minute, 20th minute, depending on how long your presentation is, that the people stay glued onto my presentation or my speech? Today I attended a wedding service at St. Francis Chapel in Makerere University, and there were different speeches. And talking about the wedding, after that, there was a reception. And I know at the reception, I didn't manage to be part of the reception, but I know at the reception, there were speeches. Maybe if they are still there right now, the speeches are still going on. Now, you find that you are at a wedding reception. You are given a microphone. You are the brother of the groom. You are the representative of the bride's friends. You are the uncle of the groom. You are actually the groom. and you now have to speak. And when you start, you say, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody is paying attention and saying, good evening. But after 1 minute, people now go to their phones, they go onto their phones, they now turn and start to talk with their neighbors while your speech is going on. Do you know why? Because you have not learned how to maintain the attention of the audience when you are speaking. And this happens to many people. I've seen this happen to CEOs in big summits. I saw this happen a few weeks ago. I was hosting a big program, a national program somewhere, and a number of people were speaking. But there was one particular gentleman who took to the platform, started to speak, and in the 3rd minute, everybody was just doing their own things. A big person, big CEO of a huge entity in the private sector, he was not able to maintain the attention of the audience. Now, if you're still watching this program right now, it is part of the proof that I am able to maintain the attention of my audience. Thank you for staying here ever since I started. Let me tell you, I still have about 10 more other aspects that you need to give attention to concerning public speaking in your life as a family leader, as a professional, as a business person, as a speaker, as a human being, if you are going to be a successful man and woman, if you are a woman watching us. Let's take a very short break, and when we come back, I will introduce to you my other wonderful friend, a colleague, a workmate, a gentleman who is also a public speaker like me, who is a father like you and I, who is a husband like you and I, to also share with us a few more aspects that you need to give attention to as a man in this area of the all-important subject of public speaking. Don't go away. Live, love, and lead. Live exemplarily, love authentically, and lead relationally. This is the Inspired Family Leader Program with Samuel Bakutana, your host. And we are talking about the aspects of public speaking that every man should learn. And in the remaining about 12 minutes, we want to share with you a few more. And like I promised in the previous segment, I have my brother in studio, Mr. Jesse Ainebyoona. Mr. Jesse Ainebyoona is the Training and Development Associate at Inspired Leaders International. He is an international public speaker. He is an upcoming author, a father of 2 children, a husband of Diana. He's been in Toastmasters as the national president, empowering people to speak powerfully and become great leaders. And he's a Rotarian. So he's here to also add on to what we are talking about, the aspects of public speaking that you as a man, you need to learn and master. So without further ado, you're very welcome, my brother Jesse.
Thank you, Sam.
All is well?
Very well.
Already we have 10 aspects mentioned.
Yes.
I would like you to take on the 11th.
Wow, thank you. The 11th aspect of public speaking that is extremely key is the aspect of maintaining eye contact.
Yes.
It's a very key skill in communication and in public speaking as well, because when you are speaking to an audience, or even when you're speaking to somebody, imagine someone speaking to you when they are not looking at you. That simply says something about their confidence. Maybe they are hiding something, or maybe they are not sure of themselves. So it's important that as a person learning the art of public speaking, for you to become an effective public speaker, you need to have the ability to connect with your audience by looking at them. In fact, we say that the gateway to the soul of your audience is through the eyes. So we need to maintain eye contact when we are communicating and speaking to people in public, but also privately. Yes. If someone is talking to you and they're not looking at you, you may begin to think twice. It's very key.
That's very important.
Yeah.
I'm even told when it comes to police work. Yes. I remember we had some police people who came for the public speaking course. You remember Afande Jackson, Afande Ruth, and Afande Farida.
Yes.
And they told us something amazing, that even when they are doing, what is it called? Interrogation and investigations. They always look carefully in the eyes of the person they are interrogating, that they get a lot of truth when it comes to how somebody is looking at them. So that's critical.
They say eyes don't lie. So
here is another aspect. Another aspect that you need to learn when it comes to public speaking is the aspect of the types of presentations. In other words, you need to learn and know that there are different types of speech, and each of those types should be given differently. Maybe it could be a demonstrative speech. Maybe it could be an inspirational speech. Maybe it could be a persuasive speech. Maybe it could be an educative speech. Maybe it could be, an entertaining speech. So whatever it is, there are different types of speeches, and you need to learn how to do each one of them rightly, the way it is supposed to be done. So that's another aspect. Now, Jesse, take us on to the next aspect that we need to learn.
Thank you. There is something called charisma. Now, charisma is key, because when you think about charisma, it is having that appeal. You are charming, you are attractive. Somehow you can't be missed. That means that you are a charismatic person. As a public speaker, you want to build charisma because it is what is going to enable you to connect with your audience. So you need to find a way to be charismatic, have energy, and there are many ways you can build charisma. But like we said today, we're not talking about the how.
Yes.
We are mainly talking about what you need to have. But when you think about most effective communicators, they are charismatic speakers.
That's it.
So as a public speaker, build charisma.
Yes. People think that you must be born with it.
Yes.
And true to speak, there are people who are born with it.
Yes.
But all of us can learn how to, quote unquote, manufacture charisma so that you have a stage presence.
Very true.
The other aspect that you need to learn as a man concerning public speaking in your life is how to harmonize what we call the three speeches. How to harmonize the three speeches. Now, what are those speeches? The speech number one is the speech you prepare before you go to speak. Speech number two is the one you give when you're on stage. And speech number three is the one you wish you had given after you sit down. Those are the three speeches. The speech you prepare before you go to speak, the speech you give when you are finally speaking, and finally the one you wish you had given after you have sat down. So you need to learn how to harmonize those three so that you have one speech. So that the one you prepare is the one you give on stage. And even after you have sat down, you feel that's what you really needed to have said. The next aspect that we need to learn.
Thank you, Sam. The next aspect that we need to learn is the ability to inject clean humor. I'm intentional on using the words clean humor. Humor is something quite profound when you speak to an audience. You may have noticed that people who use humor, it's easy for them to connect, people follow them, and somehow you don't want to even leave the room when you know that anytime this person is going to make a joke.
Yes.
So humor is good. It's a beautiful art in public speaking. However, we need to be sure that we are using clean humor. There are places you go to, they call them comedy stores or houses, and every joke they give, you just want the ground to swallow you, if I could put it that way. You want to run away because it is just not clean. But you want to develop the ability to bring in clean humor. And humor does not have to be on things that are not really palatable in public, but it can be clean humor, it can be good humor that enriches your audience, and your audience will connect with you much better.
Yes. Even especially in tense moments, there are times when you're speaking to an audience and you realize it's becoming tense. Maybe you have spoken about very serious issues and you see people are so somber. Sometimes you want to lighten up the moment a bit.
Very true.
Humor would be the place to go to. The other aspect that you need to learn as a man concerning public speaking is how to create unique visual aids that stick out. Unique visual aids. Now, when we say visual, we could have said kinetic, we could have said auditory or audio, we could have said tactile. Those are words that you may want to go and find out what they mean. But there are other forms. One of the other form is what we call the visual. Now, when we say auditory or audio, we mean what you hear. When we say tactile, it has something to do with the tasting. When we say kinetic, something to do with the energy, the movement. You see. So now, when we say visual, we are talking about something to do with the eyes, what is seen. So you need, and when we say AIDS, we are not talking about acquired immune deficiency syndrome. We are talking about something that helps. I can say I will aid you in doing something. So put the two together, visual aids, They are those things that can be seen, that you can use as a speaker and show to the audience to help you to become more effective. Whether they are handouts, whether they are quite many things that you can use, props, and so on and so forth. So you need to learn how you can ensure that you create unique visual aids that you can use in your presentations that can stick out. The next aspect.
And one of the most effective visual aids that Sam has talked about is the tool of PowerPoint presentations.
Oh, in a professional
circles, yes,
common,
very common, and yet it's alarming to see attending a meeting and you are attending a presentation and you look at the words that are going across the screen. It's like a handout placed in a PowerPoint. So we need to develop the ability to develop good PowerPoint presentations, because in a PowerPoint you can play a video, you can play an audio.
Yes.
There are so many things. You can bring in a graph, you can bring in a pie chart, you can bring in good images that will help your audience to see and follow what you're talking about.
Yeah.
John Maxwell recently made a statement that show and tell is better than just tell.
Yes.
So if you show and then you tell, if you show something as you talk about it, it's much more effective than when you just talk about it without showing it.
All right.
That's why PowerPoint presentations are key in public speaking.
Great. The other aspect of public speaking that you need to learn as a man is mastering what we call figurative language. So that you don't speak just is and was plain things, but you use figurative language, figures of speech, whereby you use language outside its conventional way of usage. You've heard, and by the way, we use this almost every day without knowing. We use metaphors, we use similes, we use, what is it called? Oxymoron, we use symbols, and so on and so forth. Rhymes without knowing. There is a season when you are in prison, but you need to know it is for a reason. So you need to be able to get your vision clear so that you are able to cause action that is going to lead people to transformation through the power of inspiration as you give them the right information. You see, I'm putting some rhyme so you can be intentional in using some of these figures of speech. So learn the aspect of the figures of speech. When I say he was found doing it, it's different from when I say he was caught red-handed. It's different from saying he was caught pants down. So you need to learn how to use figures of speech. The other aspect, as we almost come to the close,
in addition to using figures of speech, one of the key aspects that we all need to appreciate is how to use the microphone effectively. It's always interesting to see when someone is given a microphone, the microphone that you've been given is working, okay? And then someone reaches the stage or the podium or the platform and starts blowing in it. And it makes that weird sound, or they begin to knock it, and yet they gave it to you. In fact, it's the one that was used to introduce you. Now you are testing it and beating the poor microphone to see if it works. Let us learn how to use the microphone properly and not make a fool of ourselves.
That's so true. And just for the sake of time, because there are a number of other aspects that we need to really handle and learn if we are to be effective communicators. But for the sake of time, let me add one more. And that is the aspect of learning how to manage your audience. You need to learn the dynamics of audience management. Yes, you have the information, you know your content, maybe you are an expert in your area or your field that you are addressing, but at the end of the day, when the rubber hits the road, you are going to be dealing with an audience. The audience will ask questions, the audience will give comments, and sometimes you will find hateful audiences where some members of the audience have come to make you fail. You need to learn how to manage the audience. You need to learn how to deal with the questions, learn how to deal with comments that people throw around while you are presenting, learn how to deal with people who put up their hands and ask questions that are intentionally aimed at making you look like a fool. Friends, there is a lot we could talk about, but you need to know, like we started at the very beginning, that public speaking is a very powerful tool. And as a man, a family head, a family leader, this is one area you should go and equip yourself in. I've been getting a number of interesting comments on this program on social media, on my Facebook handle, on my Twitter handle, and a number of you who have been sending, questions on WhatsApp. I want to thank you for starting to interact with this program. Keep sending those questions. Keep coming to my inbox, even the inbox of those people that we bring on board. We could share with you some of their contacts and so on and so forth. Let's continue the conversation. Let's grow together, especially as family heads. Let us grow together. And like I said at the beginning, next week I'm going to be meeting a certain group of people to teach them these things in details. In case you are interested in being one of them, I am going to give you my number. You WhatsApp me and I give you where you can find help. 0782 163416. 0782 163416. I will help you to know how you can go in depth on most of these areas. This has been the Inspired Family Leader Program with Samuel A. Bakutana, your host. You need to go and empower yourself in public speaking and presentation mastery. Until next time, live, love, and lead.